The property went up by about 40% in 2 years, which we ourselves would not have ever worked out that this can happen. But with the report which Rusty gave us about what's the investment happening in the area, what the government is doing, there is a good chance of the capital gains here. My name is Rajendra Bandi, and I'm a tradesman working in Sydney, and I'm in Australia from 17 18 years, and I have married, and we have two kids, 11 and 14-year old. First thing we did was bought our principal place of residence, and we had mortgage with that. We both husband wife working, with the expenses always going up, so it was feeling like we are sacrificing things to meet the ends, and always worried about from where can we make extra money. So we always worried even if we lose one job, it would be still just surviving hand to mouth. So we were always worried that we have to do something else other than just keep working as much as overtime as you can, but still there was that fear of what if something goes wrong. Can't rely just on our incomes. So in my scenario, I have seen few friends who created wealth through property investment. So I was thinking of going that path, but didn't have any direction. So I had my loan pre-approval, but didn't know where to start. What should I get? Should I get a unit? Should I get a house? In which state? So the pre-approval was just sitting in my email, but was not able to make any decisions by myself. Then I realized I need some expert help here. And luckily, I got a reference from a common friend about Weber Rastogi, who is a buyer's agent. And we decided, okay, we sat on the pre-approval for 1 year and didn't do anything. Let's go with the expert and use the expertise. With Rusty, when I decided to go with him, we first had our strategy planning meeting. In that meeting, Rusty gave us idea about the long-term plan, like how to build a portfolio, not just think about your next one property, but think about building a robust portfolio and your end plan on what passive income you want to be retired from your 9 to 5 job. We discussed the strategy first, and then we made a plan into steps. So what next steps we should be doing, and then we went to the execution. We worked out the numbers and got introduced to the broker. And with Rusty, he managed everything with the off market property. He knew the agents, he brought the property to us instead of we getting out of the house. Regarding the building and pest inspections, Rusty organized it through his contacts for us, and it was done when we were still sitting at our home in Sydney here. It was all delivered to us. We looked at the report, and then we had a conveyancer. He did some work for us, like when we found few small issues with the building and pest inspection reports, he negotiated a better price for us, and yeah, it all fell into place. It all worked well. We went for the drive to have a look, and we went ahead with his expert suggestions. It was a daunting process at the beginning, but after a couple of meetings with Rusty, the relationship developed, the confidence in the relationship came, and then we started believing that Rusty is holding our hand in each step, and yes, we can do this. So the confidence just kept going up, and then okay, let's execute this, and we are enjoying the fruits of that decision now. With the purchase which we did in 2021, so now it's 2023, the house was never vacant. So I believe whatever the study Rusty has done and gave the report about the vacancy rates, which were true. The house was never vacant, it was always rented. The property went up by about 40% in 2 years, which we ourselves would not have ever worked out that this can happen. But with the report which Rusty gave us about what's the investment happening in the area, what the government is doing, there is a good chance of the capital gains here. So we believed his reports and decided to go ahead. So yeah, in 2 years, the growth which has happened in our one investment property, it's unbelievable. Like we would not have imagined ourselves. From this experience, we realized that there can be very positive outcomes rather than doing it yourself, because we are not experts in this field. I am a electrician by trade, so I thought, why not go with the expert and get help of buyer's agent. So we decided to go back with Rusty again and leave all the critical decisions on his expert studies, because we have family and jobs to go, so we can't sit here doing the research which Rusty can do. We have decided now about building a robust portfolio and going for our next investment property with buyer's agent, that is Rusty. When you're doing investments, there are going to be risks, but with education from Rusty, we realized that there is also risk about not doing anything, which is missing out on the growth which we had from our first property. If we would not have done, then we are risking what growth we got. We would not have had that. So with Rusty, we always ask questions like what are the risks and how are we going to mitigate this risk, always having the buffer for the bad days, rainy days. Once you have covered your risks with proper insurances, buffer, then that builds the confidence that even if something goes wrong, that risk is covered here, and this is how we are covering the risk. So there was a peace of mind. So let's do this. So my suggestion for someone who is sitting on the fence, which I admit that I did for pretty much 1 year. The loan pre-approval was sitting there, but I wasn't having any direction which way to proceed. When I look at the numbers now, I can see if I would have done this a year before, then there would be more growth. Thank God that at least at the end, I just came to the conclusion that I can't do this myself. Let's go with the expert. Instead of just sitting on the fence and not doing anything, we decided to go with the buyer's agent, and we can see how it worked out. We already made some capital gain. For people who are sitting on the fence and want to do something but don't know what to do, I would suggest book the sessions with the experts, educate yourself, do some meetings, and feel free to ask questions, whatever you got in your mind, get them cleared. Listen to some property podcasts, and Rusty has written a good book about the investment, which is sitting next to my bed. I go read that whenever I have some spare time. So educate yourself and go with the expert and use their expertise, because they are doing this day in, day out. In Rusty, we found a person whom we can trust, and we definitely, as we got to know him more, we knew that he is an expert in this field. He has studied, he himself has built a strong portfolio. So we can say that he can be your best friend, not only a buyer's agent with whom you paid money and he's offering you service. It's like a friendship. You can have a chat, ask your doubts, and rely on him. And I can definitely say that he is expert in what he is doing.